Do you think someone like Tim Pool's like a good debater? Like, I think we both probably find his views pretty repugnant, and I think like most kind of MAGA-leaning talking points are. I don't think they really hold up to much scrutiny. But do you think those guys are good at presenting arguments in a way that's hard to diffuse sometimes? Like, what's your take on the average skill of those sorts of adversaries?
Tim Pool is special. I don't think he's a good debater. He's a phenomenal rhetorician.
Hmm.
Because his strategy in direct disagreements so often is making it impossible to go hard against him. I know. I mean, I've been in studio with him. The way he frames arguments, he doesn't make strong prescriptive statements to attack. He talks about other people's strong prescriptive statements. He reframes things as though he's this moderate who's bringing to you the concerns of this group that he's just, looking out for. This is a really effective rhetorical tactic because it means that you have to match the tone that they're offering. And you
Yep.
also can't go super hard against anything wrong they say because, of course, they're not saying it themselves. They're just presenting the concerns of other people to you. I think it's a very dishonest way of going about things, but I can't deny it's very effective. Um,
Yeah.
I see this a lot. I see this done a lot as well. The right has definitely pulled back on the boldness over the past couple of years. Back in
Hmm.
2018, 2019, very direct, very strong with the arguments, very comfortable making direct prescriptions. But now they tend to lean further on euphemism, on argument by proxy. Even people like Ben Shapiro, who, while incredibly dishonest, I mean, he's certainly rhetorically proficient, um,
Yeah.
even people like Ben Shapiro, you can see the conversations that he has with people. Rarely does he make these strong arguments he'll defend. He'll do these like, well, even you have to admit that. And, people like you say stuff like that, but don't you believe there are other people out here who, and when things are framed that way, it's not about you versus them. It's like, well, now we're arguing about the abstract of what other people believe. And, there's no easy way to get around tricks like that, by the way. Trust me, I've thought well enough about it. It's just a matter of feeling out the vibes of the conversation, trying to ground it back. I don't know what these people believe. I can't speak for them. I'm curious what you believe. You try to get it back to them because if they make the mistake, then you can go after them properly for
And you also have the core advantage, which you're right and they're wrong.
it. That
Which
definitely helps. Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like, what is your relationship with a guy like Tim Pool or those other dudes? Like, I mean, like you are able to. I don't know. Like a lot of those right wing guys, you give them credit the sense that they're willing to kind of bring on whoever to their shows. I guess you can give them credit for that. But like, a lot of other like it's hard for me to I think a lot of other kind of left-leaning content creators, there's just kind of a blacklist there. They would never sort of there's more enmity there where you are like yeah you can pop on a Temple broadcast kind of whenever you want. I doubt you would necessarily say you're friendly with them, but I'm kind of curious to know what is the sort of off-air dynamic between you and those guys.
It is an interesting one. So what I do is fundamentally, it's a political project and a business.
Mhm.
So my personal feelings about people aren't the only things that I take into consideration when I manage my online engagement. There's an interesting thing going on with some people like Tim Pool or Charlie Kirk, where
Mhm.
now I think my positions on these people's political views are well known. But in terms of how I engage with them directly, if I was super like mean to them, I get like if I was like attacking them on social media a bunch, I think I would be doing them a favor because that's the stuff that they often point at as an excuse to not have me on in studio. And I can
Right.
reach their audience in studio. I can't reach it on Twitter. None of their audience members are going to look at me epically dunking them on Twitter and go like, "Oh, wow, you're right. Socialism is the light of humanity." But
Right.
if I maintain this veneer of civility, I can talk with them and potentially reach a much larger audience. And I can tell from the emails that I've gotten, the polls that I've done within my community, the
Mhm.
effect of my conversations with Charlie Kirk and Tim Pool have been enormous in terms
Yeah.
of, yeah, like the proportional effect that it's had. Now, often you have the opposite problem with people on the left, where like disagreements between them and I are like really interpersonally vitriolic. It should be noted, I'll have almost anyone on my stream. I like conversations with people that I dislike for the most part, as long as I think that it'll be fun and engaging and potentially educational. But I feel like a lot of people on the left that I have that relationship with don't treat their platforms the way I treat mine. They treat their platforms like an extension of their personal animosity. Whereas
Right. Sure.
people like Charlie Kirk and Tim Pool, they have like managers. They have people who book appointments, you know. So in a way, there's like this a framework that allows me to get more out of my engagements with people who I have less in common with, because they're distanced enough from their production schedule that they can allow people like me to get a hold of their audience. Whereas someone on LeftTube who despises me might do all their work personally, might not book me because they hate me personally. And as
Yeah.
a result, I don't get a chance to talk with them.
Like, are there people out there that you just wouldn't want to platform on your stream? Are there people far enough? Like, would you bring on like a straight up neo-Nazi? I mean, I'm talking in extremes here, but you know, I mean that's an element that's kind of, you know, in our political mainstream somehow now. Like, I don't know, how much thought do you give to the platforming question?
The only criteria I have is could the attention they receive by going on my platform be more beneficial than any positive outcomes I could get from debunking what they say, even in the best possible circumstances? There are people who are like that, you know. I've had Nazis on my stream, probably a
Mhm.
decent number of them, and you know, I think I do pretty well. You know, I beat Bloodborne for the first time while arguing about the Jewish question with a Nazi. The expansion, I mean, I killed oh, what's the name? Not Rom, the last one, the one that screams.
Yeah, the guy that comes out of the big whale.
Yes, Orphan of Cos, the Orphan of Cos, or Cosm, as some say. While debating the Jewish question, phenomenal. I won both. For me, it's really about, do they just benefit from the attention? So there are communities who are so vacuous. I think it's blood sports mostly, where their first concern, first and foremost, you know, is simply the engagement, drama for drama's sake. And to such an audience, they have a champion who speaks to me. And if I speak to that champion, sometimes I get the feeling there is nothing I could say, nothing whatsoever I could say, literally no combination of words, no inflection, that could move their audience, because they are purely there for entertainment. There's not even
Right.
a pretense of truth seeking. And when that's the environment, when that's the feeling I get, that those people I don't like to engage with, because they only benefit from my platform, from the size of my
Right.
platform. I've mostly noticed this, by the way, not from the far right, but from some people who purport to be leftists, like
Mhm.
the Tanky crowd. There are some people there and some communities there that are so, and I could armchair, you know, I could armchair a psychiatrist of a million possible explanations for this, but you know, they're so detached from meaningful political analysis that if their person came on here, made 99 claims that I dunked on them for, and then for their 100th they called me fat and left, their community would only be celebrating the fact that they succeeded in the arduous goal of calling me fat. And to
Right.
such a group, what can I do to win by my standards? The answer is nothing. So that's what I keep an eye out for. In
Yeah.
terms of how serious the person's political views are, I will have any number of neo-Nazis on here if I felt their audiences were capable of being swayed, however minutely.